Hey, Kyle's Wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's NJPW G1 Climax 32, Night 8 from July 30, 2022. So it's live from the Aichi gym in Nagoya, Japan. After 4 nights in Tokyo, G1 Climax heads west to Nagoya for 2 days in Aichi Prefecture. So, with some campaigns have just begun, so other people are in a critical phase already, and there's drama up and down the card tonight. So, let's just get right into it. Um, First match of the night was Kosei Fujita versus Ryohei Oiwa, the two young lions, versus House of Torture, represented by Sho and Yujiro Takahashi. So the first match of this evening, we'll see the two young lions, Ryohei and Ryohei Oiwa and Kosei Fujita take on House of Torture, Yujiro Takahashi and Sho after being fairly dominated by United Empire in the early phases of this tour. Now Sho and Yujiro now seek confidence against the Young Lions here, where they'll have a much better chance. Um, and only for Nakashima and Oiwa to maybe push them harder than they anticipated. So let's find out what happens. The Young Lions music hits, and Fujita and Oiwa run down to the ring, of course. Kevin Kelly is alone on commentary tonight, but he will be joined after the intermission for the G1 block matches by El Phantasmo, which is going to be cool, and that ends up being really good. So Yujiro's music now hits, and he comes out with Sho. They're both wearing Tokyo Pimp shirts here, and Kanemaru we see is on Japanese commentary. So Yujiro and Oiwa will start this match out, and it was smart of the Young Lions to have him start out with Fujita just returning from an injury. So Yujiro takes control right away. Oiwa fights back, and Sho just runs in right away. So Fujita runs in too and takes out Sho. Then the Young Lions double team Yujiro here. Yujiro then counters a charging Oiwa with the boot to take control, and then Sho pulls Fujita off the apron and takes him out on the side. So Sho returns to the apron now as Yujiro hits a big scoop slam. House of Torture in complete control here as the crowd now cheers for Oiwa to fight back. Oiwa hits a forearm, but then gets slammed down by Yujiro, then tags in Sho. The crowd cheers again for Oiwa to fight back, and Oiwa hits a few chops, but then misses a drop kick, and then counters back, and Oiwa now hits his drop kick on the second try. Fujita now tags in and hits Sho with a drop kick as well. Then Fujita hits a nice looking belly to belly suplex and tries to apply the Boston Crab, but Yujiro runs in to stop this from happening. Oiwa comes in as well, and the Young Lions both take out Yujiro, then double team Sho. Now Fujita is able to lock in the Boston Crab, but Sho is able to get to the ropes. Great match here from the Young Lions. They're wrestling a really smart match, but Sho then gets a striking combo, and Fujita answers with a nasty looking striking combo of his own. Sho gets rolled up, but only for a 2 count, then a backslide for another 2 count, and the Young Lions are getting close to a win here, but Sho then counters and applies an armbar. Fujita reverses it into a pin, but Sho gets out of it, keeps the armbar on, and forces Fujita to tap out. So the winners of this match by submission, House of Torture, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi. Not too much cheating in this match. They just wanted to teach the Young Lions a lesson. Great match by the Young Lions. They had a couple good chances in this one. Both of them are looking really good already in their careers, and they're only like 20 and 23 respectively. So really good stuff here at the opener. Sho looked good as well. We get to hear his great music as this segment ends. So House of Torture leave without incident, and Oiwa helps Fujita to the back. Pretty good way to open the night. I'm really looking forward to watching those Young Lions careers. So the next match is tag team action. We'll see Kenta and El Phantasmo, a Bullet Club, take on Tama Tonga and Jado. And while ELP is struck sudden death on Tama Tonga to expel him from Bullet Club during the New Japan Cup, Kenta was on the injured list. So that made the seemingly might think, oh, Tama Tonga's not mad at Kenta, but you have to remember Tama Tonga is the one that brought Kenta into Bullet Club and the G1 Climax in 2019. So there might be some closure tonight from Tama Tonga, looking for a little bit of revenge when Kenta had to decide if he was going to join Tama or stay with Jay White. He chose to stay with Jay White. So Kenta's music now hits, and he comes out with El Phantasmo, and they see some fans holding signs with their names on it. So ELP grabs the signs and him and Kenta are going to hold them. But then they see on the other side of the signs, it says Shingo and Sonata on the other side. So they get mad and they throw the signs back. That was really funny. So then Tama Tonga's music hits and he comes out with Jado. Tama Tonga's music's great, but with the very beginning, it sounds like nails on the chalkboard. I don't know what they're going with that one, but ELP and Kenta too sweet, and then jump Tama and Jado before the bell even rings here. More Bullet Club tactics. Jado and Tama fight off a double team, then hit a double shoulder tackle on ELP. Good teamwork here by the Gorilla Destiny guys, and ELP bails the ring, but Tama follows him out there, and a four-man brawl ensues on the outside. So, of course, Bullet Club win the brawl on the outside. That's their specialty. Once it gets back in the ring, ELP tags in Kenta. Kenta then hits like right in the face of the man who recruited him in the Bullet Club, just was grinding on the face. Doesn't do much after that. Tags in ELP. Tom is now in trouble as the pace has been kept really slow to avoid the quick attacks. When the pace quickens, that's when Tama Tonga is at its best. So Bullet Club has done a really good job here of keeping it a nice slow pace. Kenta now tags in, hits a really big kick to the back. The crowd's cheering for Tama to get back into the fight. Kenta's making fun of the crowd now, and this allows Tama to get a strike in. But Kenta just hits multiple strikes in response to keep Tama down. Tama now fires up, and he absorbs some more strikes, but a big boot knocks Tama back down again. Tama now catches a kick when he gets up and hits a big lariat and is able to tag in Jado. ELP then tags in too, but trips on the rope on his way into the ring, allowing Jado to take control. Jado now quickens the pace and then hits the lariat and applies a crossface, but Kenta runs in and to help get ELP out of the hold. Tama then takes out Kenta and they double team ELP. Jado then tunes up the band in the corner, but ELP is able to avoid the Randy Orton punt kick. But then ELP then tunes up the band, but Tama intercepts the Sweet Chin music attempt. So the sudden death, I mean. Kenta then throws Tama out, and then Jado throws Kenta out. ELP now hits the sudden death super kick on Jado when he turns back around from throwing Kenta out for the 1-2-3. The winner of this match by pinfall, Bullet Club, El Phantasmo, and Kenta. So El Phantasmo goes over to the commentary booth and promises that he won't attack anyone when he's on commentary, because last time he got banned for a long time from doing commentary because he jumped in the ring at some point where the announcers nobody on the commentary team is allowed to interfere whatsoever. It's a big punishment if they do. So Kevin Kelly also says, well, remember, you can't swear either. So that was funny. So ELP again yells at the fans with the double-sided signs. That was pretty hilarious. So Tama got zero revenge against Kenta in that match, and Tama's definitely missing his brother Tangaloa or even Hikuleo because, Hikuleo didn't even leave the Bullet Club. But Jado's way too old and way too small to be of much help. So Tama needs a better partner for sure. And he's definitely wishing Kenta had left Bullet Club to join him as well. So the next match, we'll see Suzuki-gun taking on United Empire. So it'll be Lance Archer, Taichi, and Taka Michinoku for Suzuki-gun, and United Empire's Henare, Jeff Cobb, and Will Ospreay. So as Jeff Cobb gets set to face Lance Archer tomorrow night, a 6-man preview will have United Empire versus Suzuki-gun, and Cobb has promised a long and emphatic tour of the islands for Archer tomorrow night. He already showed that he can hit it on Bad Luck Fale, which means he can probably hit it on Archer, and because I'm pretty sure Bad Luck Fale weighs more. So maybe Archer will get a taste of that tonight, or will Suzuki-gun perhaps come out on top? So Will Ospreay's music hits first as United Empire come out minus Gradle Khan, who has a big league match later against Sonata. So Lance Archer's music now hits, and he storms down to the ring. He's all business tonight as Lance Archer. Taka Michinoku and Taichi follow behind. Jeff Cobb and Lance Archer get in each other's faces, and then a 6-man brawl starts in the ring. So the fight spills out of the ring. Taichi rolls Ospreay back in the ring, and they're going to start the match here. Henare comes into Ospreay's aid, and then Cobb comes in too, and they triple team Taichi right here. United Empire with a good start. Archer then wants to hit everyone with Taichi's microphone stand, with Taichi would have been mortified if that would have happened. But Will tags in Cobb now, who surfs on Taichi's back while Cobb's singing Archer's theme music about everybody dies. That was pretty funny that Jeff Cobb was singing his music. So Henare now tags in and he applies a chin lock on Taichi, who's already in trouble in this match. The crowd rallies behind Taichi to get to the ropes. They probably because they want to see Archer, but Will now tags in, and then Taichi fights out of a double team attempt here. He hits a spin kick on thrust kick on Henare and an enziguri to Will. Now Archer is able to tag in, but Henare blocks a choke slam right away. Archer takes control anyway and hits elbows to Henare, and then Will at about 4 to each in the opposite corners, running elbows back and forth to opposite corners. So Will then chops Archer, then blocks a blackout attempt. Will almost got hit with the giant blackout here, which would have spelled disaster, but Cobb tags in and Will wants to do a double team, but Archer just quickly destroys Will, cutting down any chance of a double team there. So now the two monsters, Cobb and Archer, have a big striking exchange here, but it's a stalemate. So they tried shoulder tackles. That's even as well. So Cobb then hits a drop kick, but Archer shows some good agility as well. And it's another stalemate. So that was a good preview for tomorrow's match. It's going to be a good one. Now Taka and Henare tag in. Taka blocks an ultimate weapon or an Ultima weapon right away, but Henare blocks the just face lock with a big, massive strike. Big punch here by Henare, who then knocks in the Ultima full Nelson, and it forces Taka Michinoku to tap out. The winners of this match are United Empire. Cobb and Archer get in each other's face right after the match. They will fight in the A block, the monster block action tomorrow night. So they throw Young Lion, Nakashima back and forth into each other until Archer eventually throws Nakashima into the barricade. So poor Nakashima there, and his night is not over after that. There's more to come for him. All right, our third match of the night sees Los Ingobernables de Japon, represented by Bushi and Naito, taking on House of Torture, represented by Dick Togo and Evil. So they meet in the fourth match of this evening. Naito is completely backed into a corner in C block now with 0-2. So he must win his third league match against Evil tomorrow night for any chance of reaching the finals or the semifinals. And yet the King of Darkness is riding high after his ill-begotten win in the first league match against Kenta this week. So he wants nothing more than to be the one to end Naito's summer and his dreams of main eventing Wrestle Kingdom, going down the tube with it. So tonight is going to be a key preview for that critical bout tomorrow. Evil's music hits and he comes out with Dick Togo, and Bushi gets his usual separate entrance, and then Tetsuya Naito comes out. So House of Torture, of course, jump LIJ before the match even starts here, but Naito is able to kind of fight them off and take down Evil, then tag in Bushi, and we're off to a start here. So Dick Togo pulls Bushi right out of the ring after that happens, and Evil goes after Naito on the outside, sending him right into the barricade. Naito goes hard. So Togo then does the same, sending Bushi hard in the barricade, then rolls him back in. Evil makes the cover, but Bushi is able to kick out. Togo now tags in and yells at the crowd to stop clapping. That was kind of funny. Togo then gets wrist control and takes Bushi to the mat. Togo then hits a better fist drop than John Cena ever has in his career, and then tags in Evil. Evil then uses a shirt across the throat as Naito finally is able to get back up to the apron from that big barricade shot earlier. So Evil hits strikes, but Bushi blocks a fisherman's buster attempt, and Bushi hits a big DDT and he's able to tag in Naito. So Naito comes in, he pushes Togo off the apron, then takes down Evil with an elbow, hits a drop kick to the back of Evil, then a combination cabron for a 2 count. Evil kicks out of that. Great flurry. Classic Naito right there. The crowd's cheering for Naito to end this one, as of course they always hate House of Torture no matter who they're fighting, but they like Naito too here. So Naito then works a cravat now, and he transitions it into an abdominal stretch, but Evil blocks a Gloria attempt and tags in Dick Togo. So Dick then hits big punches here, but a drop kick to the knee by Naito stops his attack. Bushi now tags in, and Togo rakes the eyes of Bushi, but another drop kick to Togo's knees takes control. Togo rolls out of the ring now. Bushi goes off, springing off the ropes to go dive outside, but Evil is able to trip Bushi from behind outside the ring. So Evil hits the Fisherman's Buster back inside the ring now to Bushi, despite him not being the legal man. So Togo makes the cover after that Fisherman's Buster, but Bushi is able to kick out. Big kick out there for Bushi. Togo now puts his weapon across the throat of Bushi, but Naito comes in to make the save. Him and Bushi then double team Togo. Bushi goes up to the middle rope and hits the MX code breaker for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall are LIJ Bushi and Tetsuya Naito. Really good match here. For what it was. I liked what we got. And then the bell rings even more as we see Naito has thrown Evil into the barricade. Naito is staring at Evil and then turns his back on Evil, who acts like he's going to attack but doesn't, even though there was an opening. So they will fight in league match tomorrow. I don't know why Evil didn't attack there. Nakashima's now icing down Togo's head and helps him to the back. Naito wants to attack the ref here, but the ref leaves. And then Naito was questioning the referee about the whole move where Evil puts the leg of his opponents to the ref sometimes. And a pretty good point here by Naito. The ref usually does help him out, Evil that is, with that move. So we'll have to see if it's the same referee in the match tomorrow. It was Kenta Sami. So we'll have to see if it's Kenta Sami in the Naito match tomorrow versus Evil in the league match. So really good big time match here to end the prelims. It's a 10-man tag, 5 members of Chaos versus 5 members of Bullet Club here in faction warfare. So a rare set of circumstances, sees all the stars align and is able to schedule all of Chaos and all of Bullet Club without them being interrupted in league matches. So Kazuchika Okada and Jay White will share the ring once again, leading their 2 factions out for this 10-man tags. Also tomorrow night, YOSHI-HASHI and Juice Robinson will meet in a preview here for their D1 clash tomorrow night. So who will get the upper hand? Well, let's find this out. This should be a good one. All of Chaos come out together to Okada's music. They definitely look like a ragtag motley crew here, with Okada as the clear leader. Ishii looks like the right-hand man. Yano's the court jester, and then Bushiman are the knights, of course. So Bullet Club then come out looking more like a unit than Chaos does, that's for sure. They have the new Bullet Club song, the DX version of it, that go pretty good look here. So the 2 representatives from A Block will start this match, and it's Okada and Fale. I'm not quite sure when their match is, but shouldn't be that long away. Okada then tries to slam Fale right away, but Fale hits a shoulder tackle, showing his big size here. Jay White and Juice Robinson are super annoying on the outside, saying the same thing over and over. This is the second match in a row that they've been super annoying. So Ishii and Jay now tag in, and then Chaos all come in to help, and then they hit Yano comes in to help as well. All of Chaos are there, and they hit the 5-man drum on Fale's back. But Fale just immediately shoves all of them off, and a 10-man brawl starts on the outside, where, of course, Bullet Club takes control because brawling on their outside is their specialty. Back in the ring now, Jay White grabs Ishii and takes him over to the Bullet Club corner. Chase tags in now and works over the knee, and then tags in Gato as Jay and Juice are chanting Blacksmith on the outside. That was kind of funny. Sorry, I just lost my spot. But yeah, Ishii was isolated in the corner, and Jay hits 2 sweet chops here. I skipped away the little head. So Ishii was thrown out of the ring, and Jay White attacks him, but Gato gets a 2 count back in the ring. Jay then Juice then cuss the referee out just like they did in the last match. And this is where Ishii is now isolated and getting the 2 sweet chops. But of course, that just fires up Ishii, who loves any strikes to him. And now Ishii hits a vertical suplex. He's able to tag in YOSHI-HASHI, who immediately knocks Fale off the apron somehow. Fale must not have been paying attention, but then YOSHI-HASHI pulls the beard of Gato, and then Chase Owens runs in, but Bushiman are able to double team Chase. Then Juice comes in, they double team Juice as well. Gato's able to break up the pin. So I didn't even know Juice was the legal man at this point. That's how broken down this match has gotten. YOSHI-HASHI then goes for his big lariat, but Juice drops to the mat in the ball to avoid it. Juice blocks a move after that, but YOSHI-HASHI hits some big chops now. Jay White then trips YOSHI-HASHI, and Jado tags in. So Yoshi then hits a kick on Jado, tags in Yano. Yano takes the turnbuckle pad off. Then Jay beats up the turnbuckle pad. Yano then gets triple chained by Chase, Jay, and Jado, but Jay ends up hitting Chase on accident. Yano catapults Jay into Jace, then rolls up Jado for the 1-2-3. So the winners of the match by pinfall are Chaos, all 5 members here. So Juice then crushes YOSHI-HASHI right after the match. The bell is just ringing incessantly over and over here. There's a big beat down. The 3 young lions try to make the save because they're the ringside helpers, but Juice takes all 3 of them out as well. Nakashima yet again tonight getting thrown into the barricade. Chaos just barely are able to save YOSHI-HASHI from getting pile driven onto the concrete. So big time beat down here. Fale's now beating up. We see in the other corner, Fale's beating up Okada, and they will fight tomorrow. So a big match is here. Juice then gets on the commentator microphone and says YOSHI-HASHI will pay for what Finley has done. So they fight tomorrow as well. Chase is now arguing about Jay for hitting him, but Jay yells at Chase for touching his world title. They also fight tomorrow. So tomorrow we will go from having 4 league matches a night to 5 league matches, and it's only going to ramp up from there. I think it goes from maybe 6, and the final night might be insane. I haven't looked it up but I definitely should soon. Great beatdown. The match was kind of but the beatdown after made me really excited for all the matches in this match tomorrow. So I'm definitely looking forward to the backstage comments as well. There's going to be some good ones coming out of this, and I do make separate videos for the backstage comments if you're the kind of person that doesn't like to read subtitles. So Nakashima wasn't done getting beaten up here as Jay White stomps on his balls about 3 times, and then Oiwa comes over to help but gets thrown into the barricade. So Bullet Club just destroy everyone in their path as we go to intermission now. So nothing of note happens in intermission, and when we come back, it's going to be the 4 G1 League matches, and also El Phantasmo will be on commentary, which was hilarious all night. He was great on commentary. So tomorrow night, we'll get Tom Muller on commentary. I'm not quite sure how that one's going to be, but he should be very knowledgeable about all the different submissions and stuff like that. So, and then Tom Lawler will be in action tonight against Jonah. But before that match, we have our first league match of the night. So it's in D block. It'll be Shingo Takagi versus David Finley. And both men are 1-1 coming into this match in D block. So David Finley and Shingo hit the midway points of their campaign, tied with a short span between matches here. Finley would be feeling the full benefits and disadvantages it brings. His shoulder will be screaming after the damage dealt by Juice, but he'll be on a mental high still, having vanquished his former friend in the main event of Kurikan Hall. So Shingo has yet to taste the main event success that Finley has, losing in his hometown in the main event, which was definitely frustrating for him. But Shingo's going to be keen to win this one. Someone's going to go 2-1. Someone's going to go 1-2. So let's see how this one goes. ELP messes up right away on commentary by saying it's G1 Climax 29, which was funny. I'm not sure if he did it on purpose or not, but it's 32, not 29. So ELP is great throughout the night. Shingo comes out now. He's looking super focused. ELP says that Shingo's the second greatest IWGP World Champion, only behind Jay White. So David Finley now comes out. He's got the IWGP US title that he took from Juice, that is really the champion is Will Ospreay. So a weird little story going along here. And the backstage comments on the last event, Shingo told Finley to bring that title out so we can have an unofficial title match, and if Shingo wins, he'll take the title and return it to the New Japan officials. So Finley then talks trash to ELP on his way out, and ELP is in this same block. So I think he hasn't fought either of these men, so a good chance for ELP to scout both of them right here up close. ELP hilariously says that he wishes he was fighting Fit Finley's best son, Hornswoggle, instead of David, which is hilarious. So all G1 matches are 30-minute time limits, and Finley gets a headlock right away to start this match off. So Shingo throws him off and absorbs a shoulder tackle, then knocks down Finley hard with a shoulder tackle of his own. The pace quickens here, and Finley gets a hold of the arm. Shingo gets out but runs into a drop kick. Shingo rolls out of the ring now to catch his breath, but Finley goes out there after him. This was a mistake because Shingo hits a nasty looking spike DDT on the mat outside of the ring. He successfully and easily baited Finley into that one. So Shingo now grabs the U.S. title and says, "Why did you take this?" to David Finley, which was funny. Shingo then slingshots Finley into the bottom rope as they go back in the ring. So Shingo stays in control with some strikes and another big DDT. Finley caught his foot on the bottom rope on that one, which added more impact to the head and neck. Finley has a bad neck going forward in this match, and ELP is very good at his commentary. Not just funny, but adding insight as well, and knows all the moves even better than Kevin Kelly. So Shingo comes getting a little cocky now, and Finley is able to block the next move and hit a running diving elbow to finally take control himself. So Finley quickens the pace now and gets Shingo out of the ring, then hits the springboard plancha that he wanted earlier when he got baited out there but missed. And then back in the ring now, Finley hits a springboard cross body, and Finley hits a nice combo ending with a blue thunder bomb. So his neck is still bothering him a little bit here, and Shingo's able to battle back with a combo of his own that ended with a massive looking lariat. That will not help David's neck problems. So Shingo then hits a slam and a top rope elbow into a power bomb, right transitioned after the kick out into an STF. That was nice. Great flurry here. Really good back and forth going on here. Finley's neck is hurt, and it almost cost Finley the match here, but he's just barely able to get to the ropes on that STF. Now, Shingo looks like he could go the whole 30 minutes if he had to, but Finley doesn't look like he would be able to last much more than 10 minutes in this match. So Finley is going to have to do something in this next 10 minutes to try and win it, in my opinion. Finley hits the Irish Curse backbreaker and then sets Shingo up on the ropes, but Finley hits a superplex now, and Shingo's able to kick out. The great match now. It's been at the 10-minute mark. Really good last 5 minutes of the first 10. So Shingo then blocks the acid drop, which is also known as the sliced bread number 2 from Finley, but it was blocked here into a sliding forearm from Shingo. But then Finley counters the sliding lariat for a pin for a 2 count. Finley then blocks Made in Japan. That would have spelled disaster if Shingo was able to hit Made in Japan here, but Shingo gets taken down with a running attack instead. Finley now has done well with when the pace quickens. Every time the pace quickens, Finley's getting some good action. So Shingo now blocks 2 attacks in a row and hits a big strike to the back, but Finley hits the acid drop he was looking for earlier. Shingo kicks out at 2 again. Finley now fires up the crowd from all the claps, and Finley's really fired up and motions for the trash panda here, but a wide base from Shingo's able to block that. Finley tries it again, but Shingo counters it into a snap suplex. This match could go either way, but Finley's neck is the worst body part of any man in this part at this point of the match. So Finley blocks an attack now, but Shingo hits the Yamagori and then the bomber lariat for the 2 count. Shingo then hits Made in Japan, and I thought it was over. The crowd audibly gasps when Finley kicks out at 2. So the crowd claps loudly for that one, and they enjoy this match. And both men, they're both enjoying everything they're seeing here. So right after that, Shingo hits multiple forearms, and David looked to be out of it here. The referee checks on David, but it might have been a debate in Shingo here, who then is able to Shingo blocks the stunner, but Finley hits a stunner right after that. And wow, Finley hits a nice roll up to surprise Shingo, and the referee counts 1, 2, 3. The winner of this match by pinfall, the Rebel David Finley. Wow, shocking upset here, kicking out of Made in Japan, then getting the win. In my opinion, that was somewhat spoiled by the fact that Shingo said that he wanted to take the title and return it to the officials, but because I knew they would never do that. At the whole long story that we've had about Ospreay wanting his title back is going on too long for that to have happened. So that kind of, in my opinion, spoiled that David was going to win this match. And at that very moment, I figured David Finley was going to win this match, and that was before this event even started. So to me, that spoiled it a little bit. Maybe that's just the fact that I've watched way too much wrestling in my life, but a good match nonetheless. I still thought it was going to go either way. I did not expect David to kick out of that Made in Japan when it happened. So it still kind of got me on that. Still a great match. So um this now sets up a U.S. title match. In the next match, it'll be David Finley versus Will Ospreay trying to get his title back, and that'll be on August 2nd. And Finley goes to 2-1 on 4 points now. Really good debut G1 for Finley, who's been sitting on the sideline for about 7 years in a row, not invited to G1, getting invited this year. Now he's 2-1 after his first 3 matches with 3 more to go. Finley would be a shocking upset to get to the semifinals if he can get there, but it would be crazy for sure. Shingo drops to 1-2 now and definitely has his back against the wall. Nobody can really win their group if they go to 3 losses. So with 3 matches left, Shingo's going to have to win all of them to have a chance. Let's get to our next match. It's in the A block. It'll be Jonah versus Tom Muller, and this is their first ever singles match against each other. So after Jonah was the victim of a countout chicanery from night 1 on G1 against Yano, Tom Lawler fell to Lance Archer's blackout on day 6. Tom Lawler was one of the ones that had to wait forever to have his first match. Now he's getting a second match not too long after. See how that works. When you get a break like that, then you have to make up for it because nothing's really balanced out. ELP mentioned earlier that he has 3 league matches in a 4-day span later in this tournament. So that's really weird how some things are so randomly not balanced. So for one of the 2 guys here, Jonah or Tom Lawler, who are both 0-1 coming into this match, things are about to get worse for one of them. So this is a very big match here. Lawler's ego won over experience several points with his first match in Archer, and he'll be looking to add more focus here against Jonah. So this is going to be a good one. They've been feuding in the preliminary tag matches, K9 Connection of TMDK. I mean, yeah, and then versus Tom Lawler and Royce Isaacs. So that's what we've been getting the prelims for a lot coming into this one. Tom Lawler now comes out and he's accompanied by Team Filthy teammate Royce Isaacs. This is a big match here, so both men bringing out their seconds. Jonah comes out next, accompanied by Bad Dude Tito. So both men are looking for their very first ever G1 victory in this one. Tom throws his jeans at Jonah, and that's what starts the match here. So Tom uses his speed and agility to avoid any grabs by Jonah, but Jonah gets a big strike to knock Tom right back down. Tom grabs Jonah's singlet and throws him out of the ring here. So Jonah with a big, huge size advantage in this one, but Tom showing that he has the experience to get through, potentially get through this match. So Tom then runs around the ring to hit a running kick to Jonah's back. Then he tries to do it again, but runs right into a giant avalanche tackle from Jonah. Then Tom gets dropped ribs first on the barricade hard. Jonah gets back in the ring, and the referee starts a count, getting all the way to 17 until Tom gets back in the ring. Tito and Royce were staring each other down nearby where Tom was trying to get back in the ring. So Jonah now goes back in the attack now, and with a chop and a headbutt, Jonah gains wrist control now, and Tom stomps the toes to get out. But Jonah hits a massive shoulder tackle, crushing Tom in response. The crowd cheers for Tom to fight back now, but Jonah is in full control, sending Tom hard into the turnbuckle, ribs first, hurting those same ribs he hurt on the barricade earlier. So Lawler now hits some big leg kicks. That's going to be the story of the match going forward, is Lawler hitting a lot of these leg kicks. Jonah's already limping a little bit after these first round of shots to his legs. So now we're at the 5-minute mark, as Jonah has dominated that first 5 minutes. But now Tom hits about 10 strikes in a row on Jonah's head. Now Tom hits a running elbow, and a big clothesline from Jonah takes him down right after that. So Jonah gets caught in a one-leg trap, and then Tom reverses this into a heel hook. So now Jonah's screaming in pain on the ground, but he's able to use his power advantage to get to the ropes. Tom hits more of those nasty leg kicks now, and then a Dolph Ziggler zigzag from behind for a 2 count. Jonah's leg is a mess, and Tom's ribs are hurt. So they started striking exchange now. Tom definitely needs to watch out, even though he's a tough guy and has hard strikes of his own. You don't want to really with that big of a weight disadvantage here. So he didn't want to stay with that, and Tom wisely goes back to those leg kicks instead. Then a bunch of forearms and an enziguri kick have Jonah dazed. So Tom applies a sleeper hold, and Jonah is able to block a facebuster attempt right after getting out of the sleeper hold. Then Jonah hits another one of those big avalanche tackles. Jonah sets Tom up on the top rope, follows him up there, but Tom is able to strike his way out of this precarious situation and get behind Jonah, who was still up on the middle rope. So Tom then hits a few strikes, and then a middle rope Uranagi gets Tom a 2 count. 10 minutes have passed now, and that last 5 minutes was all Tom Muller after it was all Jonah the first 5 minutes. So Jonah then gets up and hits a big power bomb. Jonah goes up to the top rope, connects with the torpedo splash, and gets the 1-2-3. Wow, kind of a shocking end there. The winner by pinfall is Jonah. That ending came out of nowhere, but Jonah knew if the match went any longer, it would be harder and harder because Jonah would not have the stamina to hang with Tom Muller, who is a stamina beast who can go onto the deep waters. So Jonah knew that he needed to end it right away, and he did. So Jonah improves the 1-1, and Tom Muller is now in trouble at 0-2. Tom Muller has Yano next, where he's going to have to pick up a big win against the trickster Yano. And Jonah has Jeff Cobb, which is going to be a great match in his next match. So good stuff here. That ending came out of nowhere, but that only made the match even better, in my opinion. I like when you never know when a match is going to end, and pretty good stuff overall. Could have been a little bit longer, but I was cool with that. I guess maybe Jonah couldn't go any longer than that. I'm not sure. So anyway, we're at our semi-main event now, second to last match, and it'll be Gradle Khan versus Sonata. And both where Sonata is 1-1 and Gradle Khan is 0-1. So they have a singles record between them, as Sonata has won the only match they've ever had between each other. So B block will see a rematch from Wrestle Kingdom here, where Sonata faces Gradle Khan. Last Wrestle Kingdom, Okan was determined to show that he could beat Cold Skull Sonata in his own way of pretty boy wrestling, resulting in some impressive high flying from the usually grounded Dominator. But ultimately, an unforced error made Sonata take advantage and win the match, and which would propel Sonata to the IWGP US title and ultimately getting it in his first singles career. Just deepening Gradle Khan's resentment even more for that. So perhaps tonight Payback can open the door for future opportunities. At the same time, Okan's first G1 match was arguably his most winnable in the difficult block, but a handful of powder to the eyes, followed by a first-class situational awareness from Chase Owens, saw this campaign start with a shocking loss to Chase Owens. So with Jay White one win clear at the top of this table, and after 2 matches wrestled, Okan can't afford to fall further off the pace, nor can Sonata afford a negative record going into the second half of the tournament. So let's see who prevails on this one. This match was set up also nicely in the backstage comments of the last event, and Gradle Khan made fun of Sonata for being so voiceless and meek and not standing up for himself. So Sonata made fun of Okan being a Mongolian zombie, and then gave Okan pancakes, kind of hinting that he thinks Okan is out of shape. So this is a huge match for both men's careers, and Sonata comes out with an amazing jacket on tonight. Then Gradle Khan comes out. Well, Gradle Khan's came out first, I think. Then Okada with a Sonata with a great jacket. Gradle Khan turns his back to Sonata during his entire entrance. So when both men get in the ring, they both look focused for this one. And they start this match out with some amateur style grappling wrestling, some technical, slow amateur style stuff for almost the first 5 minutes. So Okan has the weight advantage, so he might be a little bit stronger, but maybe it's even. Maybe because Sonata definitely has some good muscles on him. So they grapple for a while here. Sonata hits a nice fireman's takeover. Then Okan looks for a triangle choke at a point, but Sonata's able to get out. So both men reset and then go back to tying up. Okan gets a leg and takes control with the headlock. Then Okan is breathing heavily at this point, so his stamina has been drained a lot more than Sonata, who's barely even breathing hard at this point. So Okan now works over the leg, a little bit of Sonata, but able to get to his feet. They reset again. Now Okan gets a knee bar applied, and Sonata has to get out quickly. Once it gets to a heel hook, Sonata was almost close to tapping just off that heel hook. He was looking in pain, but he's able to get to the ropes. Okan now stomps the knee and throws Sonata, but that was a mistake. He threw him into the ropes, so that instantly brought Okan was winning the slow technical battle, but by throwing Sonata in the ropes, the match instantly went into a quicker pace where Sonata took over. So Sanada takes a little bit of time after hitting a nice running move to recover from his knee on the outside. And I think that was a good decision, potentially because Gradle Khan hasn't taken any damage yet, but it might have been a mistake. We're not quite sure which one it would have been because Okan was able to catch his breath now. So this allows Gradle Khan to try and get back in control, but Sanada goes back to quicken the pace, but the moment was lost. Like I was saying, Okan now has a big kick to take control. Khan now hits Sanada face first into the turnbuckle, and again Sanada tries to quicken the pace here, but runs right into a huge clothesline. Okan now hits Mongolian chops as we're to the 10-minute mark now. Remember that grappling took up a lot of the start, and then Sanada now allows Khan to hit a Mongolian chop with his putting his hands behind his back, giving free chops from the Mongolian chop here by Sanada, who falls. Sanada falls after the second chop, but he's able to kick Okan right in the balls on the way down. That was definitely on purpose, but Sanada does a great job of disguising it, so the referee could never, in his right mind, disqualify for that. And that's a smart move that Sanada's been doing. And Sanada then hits a key TKO, but then misses the mood assault. But Khan hurts his knee on that mood assault, trying to get away from it. So both men now excuse me, both men take a while to get up. Then Okan locks in the sheep killer in the middle of the ring. Sanada's definitely in trouble, so he pulls Okan's braid to get out of this. So a couple of dirty tactics by Sanada in this match. Sanada then applies the skull end, the dragon sleeper, but Okan rakes the bad eye of Sanada. Now Okan gets the sheep killer back in, but Sanada counters into the skull end, and it's in deep as we get to the 15-minute mark. So Khan grabs the eye again to get out, and a nasty punch to a charging Sanada. That was a big shot right there. Khan gets up now and hits a middle rope moonsault that looked a little rough, but a middle rope moonsault here by Gradle Khan, and Sanada is able to kick out at 2. Now Sanada blocks the move and hits a pop-up version of the TKO. Sanada goes up to the top rope, hits the moonsault, and gets the 1-2-3. The winner of this match by pinfall, Cold Skull Sanada. So that takes Sanada to 4 points at a 2-1 record. Gradle Khan had just kicked out right after the referee counted to 3, so he was close to kicking out, but not close enough. That drops Gradle Khan to 0-2 at 0 points after 2 matches. Is rough for Gradle Khan. His back is against the wall officially. So that was a good match. I like the amateur style opening. It wasn't super fast or super thrilling, but I liked it nonetheless. The rest of it was back and forth. I had no clue who was going to win. So, good stuff here. That mood assault to end it was pretty cool. So it's main event time now as I'm losing my voice. Apologies for that. It's C block action. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. in what should be a great match. So they both Tanahashi comes into this match with a 1-1 record, while Zack Sabre Jr. sits atop of the table with 2-0 record. The singles record between these two, Tanahashi owns the slight edge, 5 wins to 4 wins for Zack. So they've wrestled 9 times. Tanahashi has won 5 of them. So familiar foes will collide here in the main event at Aichi as Hiroshi Tanahashi and Zack Sabre Jr. meet for the first time since last night, a block action in 2020. Then it was Tanahashi ending a turbulent campaign with one last triumph over Zack Sabre Jr., a win that put the Englishman definitively out of competition, and it continued a long stretch of Tanahashi and Sabre exchanging wins in both tournaments and over the British heavyweight title in the past. So Tanahashi could boost his 1-win edge here, or Sabre could get it tied, which he has previously at Madison Square Garden put Tanahashi on the injured list. He beat him so bad. So Suzuki-gun, submission wrestling master, will always look for one up Tanahashi, while Tanahashi will look for Sabre as a yardstick of sorts in a real both ways, similar to keeping the torch burning, like the whole is Zack Sabre Jr. going to take over the torch kind of thing, which they both have similar paths where Zack Sabre Jr. was able to help the UK scene while Tanahashi was keeping the Japanese scene alive. So great stuff here. A classic rivalry. Going to be a good main event. So let's get into it. Zack Sabre Jr. comes out looking cocky and confident as ever. He's talking the trash to anyone who's going to listen. So this should be a good one. He's looking focused. So Tanahashi comes out next. There's a lot of Tanahashi banners and towels in the crowd. They're going to be 100% cheering for the ace tonight. The bell rings and the crowd claps loudly for a Let's Go Ace clap. You could definitely tell it was Let's Go Ace. So Tanahashi gets wrist control right away here. We're going to start with some amateur style, technical style grappling. We figured it would. So this was much better than the Gradle Khan and Sonata grappling earlier. This was some great stuff. So Zack tries to counter this wrist control, but Tanahashi pushes him right off. Then they reset and tie up again. And then now Zack gets wrist control into a hammerlock. Tanahashi then hits a drop toe hold into a headlock. Zack head scissors out of this and then rubs his elbow into the ribs of Tanahashi for added effect. Tana then counters, but Zack counters right back. Tana gets to the ropes. The clean break here from Zack, who says, "You're welcome." So Zack smartly dries his hands on the referee's shirt to get better grip and then takes over with a Greco-Roman knuckle lock. Then Zack uses joint manipulation on the wrist and the fingers. Tanahashi flips and tries to get rid of the wrist control, but Zack takes him right back down. Tanahashi then hits a big punch to the kidneys and the ribs to get out, and Tanahashi hits two more of those big kidney punches. Zack is screaming loudly on that one. Maybe his ribs are a little bit hurt. So Tanahashi hits a springboard cross body, then cranks the neck of Zack, a move that Zack usually does himself. Now we're at the 5-minute mark, and Zack rolls out of the ring. Tanahashi goes after him, but Zack catches Tanahashi getting back in the ring with a dragon screw leg whip, something that Tanahashi does to other people all the time. So now Zack stomps on a hammer-locked arm, working on all the limbs here of Tanahashi over and over. Tanahashi's under the ropes, but the referee does not do a 5 count. So Zack just holds the hold in forever. And Zack now hits big chest kicks and puts the arm around the rope for a fulcrum point to damage the arm even more. Then a nasty European uppercut, and Tanahashi is in trouble now. Zack then goes back to work on the arm, transitions into an STF, then a brutalizer, then an anaconda vice. So Tanahashi finally turns this around with a pin for a 2 count. Zack keeps the hold applied though when Tanahashi gets to the ropes. So Zack fires up Tanahashi now by paintbrushing him in the head with kicks. They have a brief striking exchange, but then counter into abdominal stretch. They each have the abdominal stretch for a while. Then Tanahashi hits a dragon screw leg whip to get out of it. So then a middle rope somersault for a 2 count by Tanahashi. Zack goes back to the armbar with the head scissors applied, but Tanahashi gets to the ropes. So it's anybody's match in this one. They're both kind of back and forth, although Tanahashi's getting a little beat up here on his limbs. So Zack then hits another move here with a running attack, and Tanahashi comes back with a nice throat thrust. Zack fights back, though, applies a rear naked choke into an armbar, and Tanahashi just barely able to get to the ropes on that one. Tanahashi's definitely hurting, and he's pounding the mat in frustration because he can't do anything. So more vicious arm attacks now as we hit the 15-minute mark. Tanahashi catches a kick, and Zack applies a guillotine by jumping up on the leg hold, or a chin lock here, so a guillotine version. Tanahashi hits a twist and shout to get out of it, but Zack puts the guillotine right back on after. Tanahashi then gets out with a suplex and hits a sling blade for a 2 count. Tanahashi goes up to the top rope and hits aces high, but Zack rolls right on through and bridges back for a nice pin. The crowd was gasping and afraid at this one, but Tanahashi kicks out at about 2.95. That was so close. I thought it was over there, but Tanahashi kicks out of the bridging pin, and Tanahashi hits blocks a PK attempt right after from Zack, but Zack counters a dragon screw leg whip into an armbar. Tanahashi turns this into a pin, and Zack's entire arm is under the ropes, but the referee counts 1, 2, 3. The winner of this match by pinfall, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Zack clearly had his arm under the rope for a rope break, and Zack thinks about attacking Tanahashi more, but is content to just talk trash instead. So Tanahashi is kind of looking at Zack. I don't know if this was the plan, ending or if just the referee missed it and they had to go with it because he counted 3. I don't know what happened, but Zach got screwed, and now Zach drops the 2-1 record, 4 points. Tanahashi improves the 2-1, winning 2 straight main event matches. But man, really good match, but a flat ending. I have no clue if that's what they planned or if that's just what happened and they had to go with it. Once the referee counted 3, there was no turning back. I don't know if that's what happened or if that's what they were always going to do and give Zach um, an out for losing. I don't know. That's usually something you wouldn't see in G1. It would just be like, sometimes there's cheating and stuff like that. But for an indecisive, weird ending like that, kind of a flat ending for the main event. But the rest of the match was great. Loved it. And best match of the night by far. So then Tanahashi goes on the microphone. Of course, we don't have Chris to translate this time. So come back later today, way later today, when the backstage comments are released. I release a video myself translating it, so in case you don't like to read subtitles, I don't want you guys to have to miss out on all the cool stories we get in the backstage comments. So that's basically it. Tanahashi plays air guitar for a little while here, and it looks like ELP did do some funny translations on his own, saying stuff like, "Oh, Tanahashi said, I'm gonna win G1 Climax, and I have to, but I'll have to cheat to win," and stuff like that. So ELP did funny translations. And shout out again to El Phantasmo. Great start. He was knowledgeable on everything and funny at the same time. So the perfect commentator. Tomorrow night for the league matches, we bump up the 5 league matches on one night, and the block that has 2 in it are the 2 leaders in A block. So it's going to be a big night for the monster block A block tomorrow night. So I'll be here for that live when it goes off the air. I think it starts at 3 a.m. Eastern here, so I'll be on about 6:10 a.m. tomorrow night, and I'll try and get out before the event tomorrow. I'll have the backstage comment video up as soon as I can, but I will be covering SummerSlam as well. So I'm gonna get going. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys again real soon. So enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you then. Peace.